Welcome to Tino's Time Wrestling. And on this episode, we're going to talk about everything that went down on the A show tonight, SmackDown on Fox. SmackDown was live. It was a good SmackDown. It wasn't the best, but let's get right into things and how it started. And it started off with the head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, like SmackDown seems to have been for a while now, except like the couple times Daniel Bryan has. Roman Reigns just seems to start it off all the time. And he comes out and he does this promo and he says that after WrestleMania, no one is going to be able to step up to him. Nobody wants to put their retribution on their line. Nobody wants to put their body on their line against him. And then he tells Paul Heyman to grab the jet and call everybody. The tribal chief has started off his show, the A show. His job is done for the night, and it's time for him to go home and chill and have a good night. But not so fast, Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and Jey Uso. Here comes the Swiss Superman Cesaro after that phenomenal performance he put on at WrestleMania versus Seth Rollins. Here comes Cesaro to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal title, but before Cesaro could even get to the microphone and grab it and challenge him, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman walked off, and Cesaro looked pissed. And after Cesaro looked mad, they went to a commercial, and they came back, and Cesaro was talking to Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, and Cesaro was like, I want Roman Reigns tonight. It doesn't need to be for the title, but I just wanted him in a match. And Adam Pearce is about to say, okay, but then Sonya Deville is like, let me check with Roman Reigns. Like, Sonya Deville is like his boss or whatever. Just because he's the head of the table and he is the Universal Champion doesn't mean you have to listen to everything Roman says, right? I mean, I wouldn't listen to him. Maybe I would, because then maybe he would Superman punch me, and I don't really want that to happen. But anyway, she said that, and then we went on to the tag team match. I'm sorry, it thought it was a tag team match. I wanted to clear that up because in my pre-show, I did say that it was a tag team match with the Mysterio family and the Alpha Academy, Otis and Chad Gable. But no, that was not the case. It was a singles match between Rey Mysterio and Otis. And the match didn't last too long. And in the end, Rey Mysterio ended up using Otis's power against him and using his size against him and using the 619 and picking up the win. And this is a big victory for the Mysterio family because they've been going after these tag titles for a while now, and picking up a win, I know it was just a singles match, but I just want to see Rey. We talked about it in my pre-show. I really want to see Rey have another title opportunity and have another title run before he retires. If it's the tag titles, I would love it to be the Universal or the WWE champion. But if that's not the case, if it's the tag titles with his son, I'm okay with that. We'll have to see where that goes. But after that, the next thing that happened, we went backstage with Paul Heyman and Kayla Braxton did an interview, and Paul Heyman disapproved of the way Cesaro stepped up to Roman Reigns and not acknowledge him, especially after what Roman did to Daniel Bryan and Edge at WrestleMania. Paul Heyman wants everybody to acknowledge Roman Reigns as the tribal chief, and you are the tribal chief. You are Roman Reigns. You are the head of the table. But, maybe Cesaro just doesn't want to do it. Then Paul Heyman calls Cesaro a man with a $1 billion body and a pea-sized brain. Paul, what are you doing? You coming up with these lines yourself? I cannot believe Paul Heyman said that. That was just so great. That just awesome. Paul Heyman also says that Cesaro is a joke and they plan to put an end to his misery, as Cesaro, he will not face Roman Reigns in the main event like we all wanted to see. He will face the right-hand man, Jey Uso, in the main event, and I was very disappointed. And that what was set for the main event. It was Jey Uso and Cesaro in a match. And before we got to all that, we still had a little bit to get to. So before the main event, I want to talk about Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn put on another, we talked about it in my pre-show, they fight forever. They put on phenomenal matches no matter where they fight. And Sami Zayn, he comes out with this conspiracy theory still, and he comes out and he's doing all his things, and he's blah, 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 and he's crazy. Sammy, just figure it out. And Owens comes comes out, and you know what? Owen's like, I'm done. You want some more? So let's fight forever. And, they had a really good match, and they did, these guys always put on a great fight no matter wherever they fight. But in the end, Sami Zayn was so much of a coward that he walked out and got counted out, and he got counted out to 10 to where Kevin Owens picked up the win, and Kevin Owens got the win, like I just said. But Sami Zayn, you were just a coward. And then Kevin Owens, after that, he was like, you know what? Before Zayn could even get back to backstage, Kevin Owens dragged Sami Zayn back into the ring, and he stunned him like Stone Cold, and he said, oh, hell yeah. That was just awesome. I love that Kevin Owens stuns everybody. We'll have to see what happens with this, because what are they going to do with Sami Zayn? He lost at WrestleMania. He lost tonight. Are we going to see a WrestleMania rematch, a WrestleMania Backlash, baby? Like, I don't know what we're going to see, but I don't know what they're doing with Sami Zayn, because I just would, like I talked about, I like Sami Zayn, and this has kind of grown on me, but the conspiracies need to stop, and we need to see Sami Zayn be in a title opportunity. Let's see him face Apollo Crews, and let's see him be the face, or let's see something like that, maybe, because Apollo Crews becomes a decent heel, in my opinion, at least. Speaking of Apollo Crews, after Kevin Owens stunned Sami Zayn back to the moon and wherever Sami Zayn lives, Apollo Crews came on the screen and did a backstage interview with his bodyguard and his commander, Artrice, or whatever, a Dakota Kato, whatever the heck you want to change his name to. And he said after defeating Big E at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title that if Big E wants a rematch, he can't even have it because he wasn't even at SmackDown tonight. Where was Big E at? Is he okay? I hope Big E get well, fella, because you need to get back and better than ever and take back that Intercontinental title. Crews, then he also introduced, as we talked about on my pre-show, the Commander, but now they are calling him the Nigerian Elite Bodyguard Commander, Adris, or Adiz. I don't even know how you say that. I don't know why you just switched the name. You should have just kept it what it is, like we already talked about. And says that if anybody tries to come and take his Intercontinental title, they're gonna have to go through his bodyguard and his commander first. And God, this accent has to be horrible every single week. I mean, I thought like it would grow, and I like the character, but just like when Kofi Kingston had the accent back in the day, you remember Kofi Kingston came out with the Jamaican accent, and all of a sudden he was standing in the ring with DX, and he's like, guys, chill, and Triple H was like, whoa, you speak English? I thought you were Jamaican. Hey. But, I like Apollo Crews' character. I just don't know about about the accent. And with the bodyguard, I just think that they should have kept the name. We'll have to see where this goes, but they keep saying WrestleMania Backlash, and I'm just so worried that they're going to be doing a bunch of rematches from WrestleMania that we've already seen. We don't want to see these matches again. That's the point of WrestleMania. They're supposed to end, and we're supposed to see something new. And I want to see different rivalries and different people go after titles. And, speaking of titles and speaking about somebody that had a WrestleMania moment, after Apollo Crews got out and he was done doing whatever the heck he was doing, we had the victory party for the EST at WWE. She is the strongest, the fastest. She's the best. She's the EST at WWE, and the Street Profits came out, and we had a victory celebration. And Bianca came out, and she thanked her family. She also thanked Sasha Banks, the legit boss, for pushing her and making her become the best WWE SmackDown Women's Champion that she can be. She also said that her and Sasha made history at WrestleMania, and that is something that they will never forget, and that in 15 to 20 years, everybody will still remember it, and we will go back and watch it, and we will remember what history they made that night. It will just live in history. Always on Peacock. Remember, you can just go watch it on Peacock. It is literally in history. But Bianca Belair came out, she did her thing, and then it was time for the Street Profits to bring the gold, because Bianca Belair pretty much said, Montez, if you don't bring home the SmackDown tag titles versus the Dirty Dogs, you're sleeping on the couch. She's like, take home the tag titles and bring them home, because Mama wants all the gold. So it was time for the SmackDown Tag Team title match between the Street Profits and the Dirty Dogs. And, this match was actually pretty good, in my opinion. They actually did put on a pretty good show, and I thought it was a really good tag team match. Montez Ford did a frog splash off the rope, and he almost had it. Dolph Ziggler he sells everything. Most people don't like Ziggler, but he's been around for a very long time now, and I think that he's one of the best sellers in WWE. But that's just my opinion. In the end of the tag team match, Dolph Ziggler ended up doing the zigzag and picking up the win, and still your tag team champions, the Dirty Dogs. And maybe they're gonna grow, and maybe they're the team that's going to establish the tag team titles. But again, I don't know, and we talked about it a lot on my recent shows about how I don't know exactly what is going to go on with this. But this is something else that we'll just have to figure out. But this tag team match was really, really good. But I wanted to go back a little bit, because before that tag team match happened, Bayley came out and she said that she wants the SmackDown women's title, and she wants to be back in the women's title picture, and that she should be the women's division, and that it needs to be Bayley on top like it used to be. Because earlier on, before I get to mention, Sasha had a little backstage interview, and she didn't say too much. She showed her little scar that had to hurt. Ouch. I cannot believe how bad that looked like. It hurt. But Sasha, hopefully it will hear. She didn't say too much, and then she walked away. But now it looks like Bayley wants to be back in the title picture, and we'll have to see. But ding dong, hello, if Bayley wants to be back in it, I'm down, because I always love Bayley, and I think that she could I think Belair and Bayley would be a great rivalry, in my opinion. That would be something that I wouldn't mind seeing. Bayley has been in the title picture for a little bit now, or not like, you know what I mean, before, when her and Sasha had it, and then she had the title for very long. But now she had a little bit of time off. She hosted WrestleMania, which I thought she did a phenomenal job, and I thought that she was funny as the third host, kind of, even though they didn't announce it. But we'll have to see what happens with Bayley, because if that's a match we see, I'm down. I'm not mad. But speaking of the women and the women's titles, let's talk about the women's tag titles for a minute, because all of a sudden we came back from commercial at one point, and Natalya and Shayna Baszler were standing in the ring getting ready for a match, and I'm like, okay, like, what is going on? And in this match, I don't know what exactly they're doing, just like, I've talked about in my other shows. I keep saying them with my other shows. With the women tag titles, I don't know what exactly they're doing. It looks like they're giving Natalya and Tamina a lot more time, because Natalya ended up picking up the victory in this match. But after the match, Nia Jax tried to attack Natalya, and it was not able to happen because Tamina was able to make the save. And, Natalya ended up winning by roll-up, and she rolled Shayna Baszler up, and it was just really weird. And I don't know what they're doing with Shayna Baszler, but if you're going to bury Shayna Baszler, we're going to have a serious problem, and maybe you should have just released her like you did everybody else, because there's so many other people that are still being wasted that, yeah, you released 10 guys and a couple and some people, but there's still other people on the WWE roster that you are wasting, and Shayna Baszler just so happens to be one of them, in my opinion. I think that she needs to be in the main title picture and not at tag titles. Give the tag titles again to a team like the Riot Squad. But I don't want to get into that, because I can go on and on and on for hours about that. And, the tag division is just something that, like, we'll have to see what happens. And, yeah. So just keep an eye out for the women's tag titles, because hopefully there's something good happens. But as of right now, I'm not holding my breath. But all of a sudden I was like, isn't it time for the main event? And before the main event, we had to go backstage to Jey Uso, and he goes and he says that Cesaro is disrespectful, and that Roman Reigns and has crossed him tonight, and he will find out why. Main eventer Jey Uso, I don't know what exactly Jey Uso meant by that. I don't know. That was weird. Jey Uso said that Cesaro disrespected him and Roman Reigns, and tonight he will find out why Jey Uso is the main eventer, but Jey Uso isn't a main eventer. So I just was not getting, I was just confused. And Jey Uso is just coming up with things in his head, and he's mostly a mid carder. Let's be real. I was mixing up my words there for a minute, but we got back on track. Like again, I'm still getting used to the video, but that's okay. Jey Uso is just he's a mid carder. You know, Jey Uso, you're good as the right hand man, but let's be real. You probably never will be a WWE champion. Not hating on you. You've had a great WWE tag team title career, and you're gonna go on as one of the greatest tag teams in WWE history with your brother. But that's about it. I'm sorry, Jay. And now it was time for the main event with Cesaro and Jey Uso. And this match was really, really good. This match was so good. I was like, we are going to see a great match. We are going to see a great singles match between Cesaro and Jey Uso, because Jey Uso is great in the ring. Not hating that he's not great in the ring. I just don't think that he is a main eventer. You ain't no main eventer. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, is a main eventer, not you, Jey Uso. But again, this match, he proved why he's really good in the ring, and so did Cesaro. Cesaro is phenomenal, and Cesaro has just gotten better. And I'm so happy Cesaro is finally getting this chance, because he deserves it after everything that he has been through, and after everything that he went through with Seth Rollins. And you know, we thought that Seth Rollins was gone. We thought Seth Rollins was in the rear view mirror, and Cesaro was looking ahead. And during the match, Cesaro went and tried to go and do the swing, and all of a sudden, here comes the Friday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, and he ends up disqualifying, attacking Cesaro, and that was the end of the match. And Cesaro and Seth Rollins battled, and they attacked each other, and Seth Rollins says, I'm not done with you. This isn't over. You know, I'm sick of you. You got lucky at WrestleMania. And Seth Rollins is like, I want you again. This isn't over, and it isn't going to end until I say it's over. And again, this is something else. Are we going to see another WrestleMania rematch at WrestleMania Backlash? I don't know. I was really hoping that we were going to see Cesaro win a clean match versus Jey Uso, because that would have only elevated him, and I think that would have given him the chance to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania Backlash. But maybe we see Seth Rollins versus Cesaro again. You know, not saying that I wouldn't mind seeing that match again, but I just would rather maybe see Cesaro versus Roman Reigns. But I just have a gut feeling now, guys, and I think everybody has the same gut feeling, that WrestleMania Backlash is literally going to be all types of rematches from WrestleMania. And that's not what this is supposed to be. This is supposed to be a new year. It's supposed to be a new calendar flip for the WWE after WrestleMania, new rivalries, new champions, new brands, new tag teams, new everything, and it's just the same. I'm just, you know, the SmackDown was good. It was definitely better than Raw for sure. Don't watch Raw after WrestleMania. This was definitely a better SmackDown, and definitely better than Raw, like I just said. But, you know, I just was really hoping that they were going to do a little bit more. And, you know, it just seems like that, yes, Cesaro, hopefully after SmackDown, or after WrestleMania Backlash, hopefully Cesaro gets the title opportunity, and maybe they'll do some type of a story where he just keeps getting screwed and screwed and screwed, and then he finally gets the win, and he has that Cinderella story. So if that's the case, I'm totally down, because, you know, I just don't know if they're going to have Cesaro be the guy to beat Roman Reigns. So that's the only thing I'm worried about, but we'll have to see. But again, the SmackDown wasn't really bad in the ending. Like I said, it ended with Seth Rollins saying that he isn't done, and it is not over until he says it's over. And that is how SmackDown ended. We don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have to find out next week on SmackDown. But, you know, I'm going to give this show like a B+. I thought it was good. I thought it was really, you know, there were some good moments. I thought, you know, Cesaro coming out and coming after Roman Reigns and stuff like that was really good. But again, there were still like kind of confusing moments. Like, what are they doing with the women's tag titles? What are they doing with Sami Zayn? There are still a lot of things that I don't know about, and many people are still kind of confused about. But, it wasn't a bad SmackDown, and it was a good Friday night. SmackDown always makes me look forward to Friday nights, and I love Friday Night SmackDown. On the other, it was better. It was better than having nothing to watch tonight, right, guys? It was SmackDown. SmackDown always delivers, right? Semi, right? Anyway, before I start blabbering on too much, that was it for SmackDown and all of the results that I have for you tonight. I hope everybody enjoys my show. I hope everybody enjoys seeing my beautiful face now on YouTube. I'm going to get better at this, I promise, with the editing, with me talking, getting used to this. I got this. And remember, your boy's coming and he ain't stopping. That's my new saying. Your boy's coming and he ain't stopping. So until this is actually going to be the last time I talk to you guys until WrestleMania Backlash. So until WrestleMania Backlash on May 16th, go check out all of the wrestling stuff that I've done already. Look up for updates, everything going on at Tino's Time and Tino's Time Wrestling. I hope everybody has a good month. And until WrestleMania Backlash, this is your boy Tino, signing out.